and do a Throne of Eldraine draft for the majesty of experiencing it on Magic Arena because it is more convenient. So let's take a look here. First pack. See a bunch of white cards, a lot more than you normally see, and a board wipe. So, Realm Cloak Giant is going to be the choice. If I wasn't going to take Realm Cloak Giant, I'd probably take Trapped in the Tower. Good removal. White's not the best color in this format, but having access to a board wipe is a good reason to do it. Alright, pack 2. What do we see here that's good? Charm Sleep is a good removal spell. Foreboding Fruit is a good draw spell. Flutterfox is in white, but I don't think it's significantly better than any of the other cards. I'm just going to take Charm Sleep here. It's a removal spell. Next pack, I see another Charm Sleep, which is good. I see a Steel Claw Lance, but I'm in neither of those colors. Not that doesn't mean I won't fall into them. And that's really it. Those are the kind of the cards I'm looking at. Burning Iron Trader is good as a curve topper in an aggro deck, but I think another Charm Sleep. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We've got Opt, which is good for the draw 2 deck, which it could still be in, certainly. Mystical Dispute, Frogify. Other cards worth looking at here. Maybe 2 Unveiled Tree Float, but that's fine. It's a curve topper. It's not really like something I'm looking to do. Malevolent Noble's fine in the black deck. I think enough blue cards synergize with card draw. I either want an Opt or a Frogify. I've already got 2 aura-based removal spells. I'm kind of looking at Opt. Let's see here. Cards worth looking at here. Steelgaze Griffin. All the glitters is an aura that rewards like auras and do nothing cards. Steelgaze Griffin is a closeout card. It's expensive, admittedly, but I think it's the card I like for the deck that I've currently drafted. So I see a Queen of Ice and Mystic Sanctuary for blue cards. Nothing else is sufficiently powerful to drag me out of those, though I am amenable to playing any other colors, even though I have this excellent Mythic Rare as my first pick. I don't necessarily need to be married to white. There is a lot of good blue flowing my way, though. Golden Egg's also worthy consideration. But I think I'm going to stick to blue, and I'm going to take Queen of Ice. Even though I already have 2 aura-based removal spells, I think So Tiny is still the pick compared to what is available. Silverflame Ritual is... it requires a lot of setup, and Crashing Drawbridge is fine, but nothing telling me I should be getting out of blue yet. Alright, a lot of green here. I think so far with what I have, Lonesome Unicorn might be the best choice here. Mistford River Turtle is fine, it blocks, but this is it's 1/2 adventure, and it does keep me a little bit into white. I think this is the strongest card for what I want to be doing. Go back to my pack. So there's an Inquisitive Puppet, Wishful Merfolk, and Weapon Rack. I think Wishful Merfolk's where I want to be. It blocks. I have this game-ending bomb here, so getting to that is kind of what I want. I'm looking for like flyers, honestly, as my way to win the game. I think take Roving Keep. It's the card I'm most likely to play. Righteousness is terrible. I'll take True Love's Kiss for the sideboard. I'll take a Mystical Dispute for the sideboard, and I'll take a Mystical Dispute for the sideboard, and a Corridor Monitor, which in theory I could play. Move this to the sideboard, this to the sideboard, and these 2 Mystical Disputes to the sideboard. Alright, so pack 2. Another Mythic Rare, Robber of the Rich. It's powerful, but it's definitely not nearly as powerful as the Realm Cloak Giant. Notable cards in this pack. There is Cern Conrad the Grim, Robber of the Rich, the Enchanted Carriage, and that's about it. Trebuchet. Considering the kind of deck I'm playing, even though I don't have a lot of hard removal, Cern Conrad the Grim is very, very powerful. And I'm willing to hedge into black for Sir Conrad and see what comes of it. So I have a Fairy Vandal, which rewards drawing extra cards. I have an opt so far, and that's it. But I can easily get more in blue and red. That's a quite powerful card. Order of Midnight, which returns creatures from graveyards. Foreboding Fruit, which ironically enables the Fairy Vandal. Golden Egg, which also enables the Fairy Vandal. Vantress Paladin, and Steelgaze Griffin. I think I want the Vandal. It gets out of hand, and it commits me more to blue, which is something that I think is better for me than other choices. In any of these decks, I think I'm going to be nearly mono blue. I'm looking at Moonlit Scavengers. It's a good top end card. It bounces. I've got a bunch of enchantments, base removals so far. Nothing else really speaking out to me is what I'm looking for here. So there's 2 blue cards here. Nothing powerful enough in any other colors to really draw me in. Like Archon of Absolution is good in white, but it's not something I like. I'm like, okay, I should deviate. There's Tome Raider, there's Vantress Paladin. Tome Raider, while a weaker card, it has more synergy with what I've been trying to work with so far, so I'm going to take the Tome Raider. It also dies quite easily, which enables Sir Conrad a little bit. So this is an interesting choice here. So I've got Queen of Ice and Unexplained Vision. Unexplained Vision enables card draw, which turns on the Fairy Vandal and the one Steelgaze Griffin, which so far are the only 2 card draws I have. Also, having card draw is a great way to have inevitability. It's a powerful thing. I have a lot of do-nothing cards. If I take the Unexplained Visions, I'm committing to not taking a whole lot of other do-nothing cards, but it does enable some synergies in my deck. Or I can take Queen of Ice, which is a good ground blocker, enables one of my various win conditions to reach its inevitable conclusion. I'm going to take Unexplained Vision, but this is a difficult pick, and I'm not sure what the correct choice would be. In this particular case here, you can take Outflank, the Smitten Swordmaster, or the Tome Raider. I'm going to take the Tome Raider. Once again, it enables some of these synergy cards. It flies, and dies for Sir Conrad. Alright, so here, the Sage of the Falls, Mistford River Turtle, Tempting Witch. Sage of the Falls lets me dig through my deck. I think I'm going to take that. Here, I'm going to take Queen of Ice over Wish for Merfolk. The adventure half is quite powerful, and I think very useful. I'm going to take Flutterfox or Steelgaze Griffin. I'm going to take a Steelgaze Griffin. Here, I'm going to take... I don't think I'm going to ever really play the 3rd Steelgaze Griffin, except maybe in some weird matchup out of the board. I'm not going to play Hengewalker either, though, is the thing. It is a 3-mana 3/3 in most cases of the deck I'm playing. For curve purposes, I'm going to take the Hengewalker, though I suspect it'll be relegated to my sideboard. In this case, I'm going to take the Mystic Sanctuary. I'll probably play that. I'm mostly mono blue. Take a True Love's Kiss for the sideboard. And I'll put Eye Collector on the board. I'm not going to play it, but it has more synergies with what I want to be doing than others. Alright, so here's an interesting decision point. So Dormant for Towards is rare, I'm not taking that. Animating Fairy animates non-creature artifacts. I have basically none of those. That's a non-issue. Runaway Together is a good piece of interaction. But there's another Sir Conrad. 2 Sir Conrads is very powerful. I haven't found a lot of good white. I haven't found a lot of good black either. I've got this kind of multiple card draw thing going on. But I have a lot of crappy creatures. A lot of really crappy creatures. Sir Conrad is a great way to turn those crappy creatures into value. Inevitability. So I'm going to take Sir Conrad again. I'm going to see what happens. So here, I'm looking at Foulmire Knight or Didn't Say Please. I'm not doing a whole lot. I want this Foulmire Knight. It draws me a card which synergizes with what I'm doing, and it is Death Touch, so it blocks. It's a removal spell in many ways. This is a great piece for what I have. It also trades, which helps once again with what I'm trying to do here. I think this solidifies me into blue-black. I'm going to put the Lonesome Unicorn and the Realmcloak Giant in the board for now. So, Cauldron's Gift is not what I want to be doing. It's expensive. It gets something back, but it's expensive. I don't really have a lot of room for more expensive things. My top end's kind of firmly covered here. In fact, I'm probably going to have to cut some of it. I think I'm looking at Vantress Paladin at 4 or Tempting Witch. I'm mostly mono blue at this point. I think I'd rather just lean into that a little bit more. Vantress Paladin's a good place to fill in my curve at 4, and it enables my my Flyers plan. I've got Turn Into a Pumpkin, Bell of the Brawl, or another So Tiny, probably. Forever Young's also not bad. It gets back cards, but I have a lot of do-nothings, don't I? I've got 1, 2... a couple of three do-nothings. So I'm not sure I want another So Tiny. It's conditional removal. On the other hand, I only have those. Or I can take Turn Into a Pumpkin, which draws me a card, enables my synergies, gets me a food token, and I think that's what I'm going to aim at here, is this bounce. Okay, so in this pack, there's a Mantle of Tides, which isn't great. It's not great, admittedly. Or a Jousting Dummy, or a Henge Walker. How many creatures do I have? Does this say? No, it doesn't. 1, 2. I don't know about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 creatures. I think at this juncture, I would rather have a Jousting Dummy. I'm not sure I'll play it, but it's an artifact, so that enables the Moonless Scavengers. It's a 2-drop, which I'm lacking a lot of. And it can trade up later in the game. Alright, so this is interesting, actually. So, Sage of the Falls loots, which is powerful. But it is cost 5. Arcanist now costs 4. It's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer, so it's already Vantress Paladins turned on. And it looks for an artifact or enchantment from among the top 4 cards in my library. All my removal is enchantment based, so it's a 4-mana 3/3 that can draw a removal spell. It doesn't draw the card technically, and it is an artifact, so it can also find Jousting Dummy. I think I'm going to take this, even though it's not technically draw. I think this is powerful, and it's mostly mono blue too, which is kind of powerful for me. I'm going to take Queen of Ice here. Having the ability to lock something down is quite potent. I take a Festive Funeral. I'm not sure I'll play it, but it's worth having access to, certainly. Runaway Together is definitely the pick here. Bouncing creatures, recurring Tome Raiders, recurring Queen of Ice. This is everything my deck wants to be doing. Take it in, say please. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'll have access to it. Murvok Secret Keeper, interesting, but I'm not really on the mill plan, so I'm going to put this on the sideboard, something I might actually use. Wishful Merfolk, once again, I don't think I need it, but if I need more 2-drops, it's certainly something worth considering. Mantle of Tides, because it's blue, and Talons of Beanstalks on the sideboard here. Alrighty, so is there a... Nope. So, how do I use this much? There we go, okay. Let's take a look at my curve here. So I've got 4 2-drops, 3 of them are creatures. So I've got 4 creatures in the low end, and then I've got some 3-drops. This format's kind of slow. I don't think that's unreasonable. I have what looks like a 17 land mana base. I think I'm going to change that. Actually, I'm gonna go down to 6/11. Even though I don't need a lot, I need 2 black pips for Sir Conrad, which should be sufficient. Anything I really need? Not really. Okay, so I need to cut 2 cards. The worst 2 cards in my deck are probably the Steelgaze Griffin, and actually I might play this because I need some. Actually, no. I'm going to cut the Steelgaze Griffin, and I'm going to cut a I'm gonna cut an opt. Opt doesn't do a whole lot. It's like air. Like, it's nice to have, but it doesn't do much. I'm actually gonna keep the 10/7 mana base. I'm thinking. I don't have a lot of adamant. I've got one adamant spell, two adamant spells. Arcanist Owl is kind of awkward. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 6. How do you add islands? There we go. Keep them consistent. So now I've got 11, 17 lands. Actually, we'll go swamp. I think we will. I think we'll go with what Arena suggested. So, just to reiterate, here is my limited deck. I did take the Sweet Mythic Rare at the beginning. I didn't really see a whole lot of interesting white for what I was doing. So I moved into this mono blue with a touch of black plan. Interested to see how it pans out. See you around.